Hey Blue Team, we are in the Uinta, I hope I said that right, National Forest, and I have Mount Timpanogos behind us, and it is so awesome here, and we're just kind of playing around. It's the day after Thanksgiving, and instead of going to spend a ton of money and buy stuff we don't need, we just decided to come out to the state park and play for a little bit. So Rick is over there. Let's see if you can see him. And he's playing with the drone, which is gonna get some amazing shots. And I'm just kind of walking around and exploring because it is awesome. There's snow. It's beautiful out. It is a good day. You can hear all the screaming in the background, but there's so many kids here today, and it's just nice to see everyone having a great time. I think there's a sledding hill that's back behind me before you start heading like way into the trails the other way, where I've seen some more serious people on snowshoe and snowboard, and not snowboard, what am I saying? Snowshoeing and kind of this really cool cross-country ski sort of thing. So it's everyone's just enjoying their time and having a good time. Mount Timpanogos is known by everyone here as Mount Timp, and it's a really challenging hike, and I'm looking forward to doing it next summer. I may come back here in a little bit and snowshoe, but for now we're just kind of playing with the drone and exploring the whole area. It's great. Yep, straight up. She's really high. Video for you this time, but I wanted to let you know why Blue Side Yoga is going to Nepal. This is a lifelong dream of mine, by the way, but it really started when I was a kid. I always had a picture of Mount Everest in my room, and it was this poster that was up on my wall, and I remember just looking at it all the time and just dreaming about not really climbing Mount Everest, but just seeing it with my own eyes. And I don't know if this is just because I feel so comfortable and at home in the mountains. I love snow, as you can see. Maybe it was that, you know, the fact I was born in a blizzard in Colorado, that just like in the middle of December, and that gave me my love for snow and mountains. But that's kind of where it all started, and it was just always this dream in the back of my head to go to Nepal and see Nepal and go to Mount Everest. And so fast forward a lot of years, I didn't really think that it would be something that was in my grasp or something that I would be able to do. And finally, as I started my mental health healing journey, which really started in 2014, in 2015, I was like, I am doing this. I am giving myself this gift. It coincided with when I was graduating from Georgetown with my master's degree. And that was the gift, was to go show that I could actually do this and go to Mount Everest and do that trek. So that's where this whole dream started. So after I booked this trip, and I'm really looking forward to this, if you all recall what happened in late April of 2015, and if you don't, it was the massive earthquake that happened. And it just devastated Kathmandu, the Everest region, Gorkha, just all of Nepal was affected by this. So that was 2 weeks before I was supposed to go on this trek. And of course I'm not going at that point. You can't even go to Nepal, and these poor people, there's no way that this is even going on. And the concern for me at that time was this relationship that I had built with the manager of the trekking company that I was working with. And he was so personable and so nice the whole time. And my concern was that, with the amount of people that died during this earthquake, that he was one of them. And I was so concerned, that we would never, never hear from him again. So fast forward a couple of months, obviously the trek didn't happen. I did another vacation where I went to Oman during that time, but I think it was about 4 or 5 months later that I actually heard back from them. And I was, first of all, so relieved. But then the other thing in my mind was like, I had lost the time frame for me to be able to do this. So I was doing it after my graduation. I was in between jobs at that point. So I had the time to really go and do this dream trek. And without having, the time for that anymore, I didn't know what I was going to do. So I donated a big part of the trek money to Advanced Adventures, and they were able to do whatever they needed, or I asked them to donate it to wherever they needed the most help. So kind of a leap of faith sort of thing with that. And then they were so wonderful and accommodating that it was just like whenever I was able to do this trek again, they said everything was set and everything was, paid for. And that's what, I just kind of ended up waiting for my life to get together until I could take that amount of vacation again. Oh, here I caught up with Rick. He's flying the drone. Hi. See ya. So it took 3 years after I was able to basically find the time to do that trek again. And in between those 3 years, I had done so much healing and really got into yoga and meditation, and knew in my heart that I really wanted to do this trek. I had so much self-doubt because sometimes I think that, when something doesn't work out perfectly, okay, it's not meant for me, or I'm not supposed to do it. And I started to feel that way a little bit. It was kind of like, oh, maybe the universe is telling me that this trek isn't for me and I shouldn't go. And it's certainly not the case. I look back and I think like, this is the timing, and these are the 3 years that I needed to be able to prepare myself for this life-changing journey, because I'd been literally waiting my entire life to see Mount Everest and go on this trek. So that was the important part. The learning experience of like having to wait for the right time for this trek to actually happen. So when I say Nepal was life-changing, it really was. For the first time of flying into the Himalayas, and I was so excited to see Mount Everest that I wanted to wait for the perfect moment to see it. And I knew we'd be able to see it as we were flying in. And when we got on the plane, I purposely sat myself behind the engine so I couldn't get this glimpse of Mount Everest because I wasn't ready to see it yet. I waited until a couple days into the trek, and we were at this amazing monument, and it was kind of cloudy, you know, throughout the time. And this view opened up, and it was like, there it was. It's funny, there's a mountain behind me right now, but it was like, oh, there is that beautiful mountain. And my face was, I was just so excited. I couldn't believe it. I finally saw it. And it was like, that alone was just being able to achieve this amazing goal. Something that I dreamed about my whole life. So I absolutely love that part. And then, you know, talking about mental health, the whole trip, just learning, like knowing how my nervous system works, knowing how, you know, things have happened and unfolded. I knew that about probably 3 to 4 days into the trek, where all I had to do was hike and relax and not have a phone in my face, I knew there would be this feeling or like this switch that would give me that calm and that release, and that, you know, just the reason why I love being outdoors and hiking so much. And there was this alpine field. We were above the tree line. So I want to say we were maybe 14,000 feet. And I turned the corner and walked across this field, and it felt like a bug's exoskeleton just falling off me. And I just felt like the past pain and the worry and just everything melt away. And it was like I had left it all there and came out of that field almost as like a new person. I know this sounds really woo-woo and hooey, but it was a life-changing experience. And I say that in the context of, I first had my idea of that I want to take other veterans here, and I want other people to have this feeling, and I believe in the healing power of nature. And when I came home from that trip, that's really where I started thinking, how can I do this for other veterans? You can see, I don't know if you can see this on the video, but there's definitely some avalanche activity that was over there. So after I came back from Nepal, I was trying to figure out, you know, I've always had blue side yoga in my mind. I've always wanted to help others. I've always had a background of wanting to help others feel better. In high school, I got my personal training certificate. Like, I've always just really been into fitness and wanting people to feel their best. And this new, you know, relatively new over the past, you know, couple of years, where I wanted to help people with mental health, kind of, you know, started to build the foundation of blue side yoga with health and fitness. And so, you know, I got back from Nepal. I started a new job in law enforcement, and I really got wrapped up with that sort of lifestyle because it's really busy. But I always had little things in mind. So I got my 200-hour yoga teacher training complete. I dove into as many mental health books, courses, certificates, such like that I could do. I did an aromatherapy certificate for mental health. Just all of these ways and, you know, stuff to look at to add to this. And then just a couple of months ago, the same director that I had worked with in Nepal just reached out to me. And he said, Sarah, how, you know, like, hey, would you like to come back to Nepal? And first of all, yes, I would like to come back to Nepal. But I said, hey, what if I do this trek for veterans? Can we set this up? And thankfully, he thought it was a great idea. I feel like the universe aligned, and here we are. So like that dream I had in the middle of this, you know, Himalayan alpine field is coming to fruition, and I get to take you on it. And that's really awesome. So I hope this is something that, you know, we start and continue. But it just goes to say, like, that's why Nepal. There's so many other benefits of it. It just, the culture is amazing. The people are amazing. The food is so different and it's so good. The cost of things, you know, like, yeah, I've had people mention, hey, this trek is so cheap. And it's, no one's trying to, you know, take anyone's money. We're just out there doing what it costs, helping organizations where we can. And that's really, you know, what we're all about. So that's a little bit of why Nepal. I'm sure I'll do other videos and talk about it in the future, but it's such a big deal to me and such a place that has my heart. So I'm really glad that that's all part of this. And now I have to go find Rick and the drone because I went wandering off. So let's see if we can find him. All right, short little hikes over for today, but thanks for watching, and I hope you got excited about Nepal because I can't stop thinking about it now, and we will be back soon. Thanks everyone, bye.